So, Nuria, we've spoken about this, and as these lipstick Muslims would have it, they waste no opportunity to tell the world that Islam is the most feminist religion in the world. It gives you equal rights, and it's just different characteristics and different roles, but no
Hmm.
other religion or no other culture has treated women as good as Islam has, blah, blah, blah. And we know this, we've seen these, gender equality photos of Islam that from time to time.
So equal. Look at that.
So,
So equal. I almost feel bad for the guy. How can she be so equal?
yes, exactly. So let's have a look. How many rights do women get in Islam? This is an average day in the life of a Muslim woman. It's a fun day at park. Have a look.
So she should just go to bed because there's no fun to be had. Oh God.
These are young girls. These are young girls that are just having fun. Look at them. I know I started off with, you might think that I'm taking the piss out of it, but look,
Yeah, I really
this
thought
is
you
actually,
were.
but this is actually very sad though, isn't it? Look at this. This little girl, that's sexualization, isn't it? That's sexualization of children. But you know what that
Where
is?
is this, Horace? This is awful. Where is this? Afghanistan.
I don't know. Can you tell by looking at them? I'm sorry, I can't tell. What
Yeah, Iran or Afghanistan?
No, it can't be Iran. Iran is not that bad, but I think it sounds like
Afghanistan then.
Afghanistan. Yeah, possibly Afghanistan.
Yeah, it
Oh, there's
sounds.
one girl. You can see her face. No, but they look Asian. Maybe the Far East Asian. I don't know. Maybe it's that in Indonesia, Malaysia, something. I know they're not like that, but everyone around them is that.
This,
Now, I don't know if this has been enforced by the state. I don't know that, but whoever they are, they came
is
as a
that
group.
Indonesia? Maybe. Yeah.
Could
Sorry, go
be.
on.
Yeah, it could be. But they obviously came from a madrasa or a school where they had a strict dressing code. This is how they're training the young girls of their community, that this is how you ought to behave. If you go out, this is how you need to be dressed. That's just, isn't that sad? It's just sad. Like I as a man see that this is bad because not I mean, or at least you gotta say at least they don't have to see through that thin
Veneer.
veneer, yeah. Because in Afghanistan, they're not even allowed to even uncover their eyes. So imagine, as a woman, just by pure virtue of being a woman, you cannot even see the world around you that's been created by your own Allah without this netted veneer. Imagine that. That's how it is in Afghanistan. At least these people allowed them to, have their eyes uncovered. How sad is it? How do you see that as a woman? Like, I mean, are you thankful that you're no longer a Muslim, or at least even when you were a Muslim, you weren't forced to wear that?
Yeah, I'm so again. It's just, like you said. It's just by virtue of gender, what you're born as, and where you live. That could have easily, like, so many girls are. I genuinely think that's child abuse when you're robbing children of their childhood, being able to wear shorts and t-shirts and fall on your knees and graze them, as opposed to trying to navigate the world as a little 3 or 4 year old in, like, all masked from head to toe, and to be told from that young of an age that your body is aura, like, just to use the Arabic word for it. um
Shame.
you'll
Or I
never
mean
you'll
shame.
Yeah, aura, yeah, exactly. It just alludes to, like, private parts and shame and, yeah, that kind of thing. So, but again, I just look at it as child abuse, that they have no, these girls are going to grow up, probably never be able to. Hopefully, some of them would be ex-Muslim. Who knows? Let's just think positively. But for the most part, they're going to tick all the boxes that their life tells them. Maybe never get to dye their hair the color of their choice. Like, it seems like such a small thing, but for a woman or a girl to just be growing up and be like, today I want long hair, today I want short hair, today I want to go red, today I want to go back to black. Like, these tiny things make up who you are. You're not doing it for men, you're just doing it for, today I felt like wearing all black, tomorrow I might feel like wearing yellow. It's just expressing how you feel. It's expressing, like, general parts of your personality. It's expressing your mood inside. It's expressing how you want to show yourself to the world. It's just, it robs somebody of their entire experience to be alive on earth. Like, it honestly, it's the most basic robbing of a human right. And to girls that age, I mean, Horace, like, it's not even like a gender thing. If you saw little boys covered up like that, if you the thought of you being like that, you'd feel just as disheartened. And it's a human thing. It's not even a. But again, it's just sad because Islam puts the onus so heavily on our sex. So we bear the brunt of it all the time. And by the way, we'll talk about this next time we do this, but the Quranic verse for Surah Nisa, it transpires that obviously, like, if you fear disobedience or nushuz from your wife, there's 3 steps on obviously how to rectify that situation. So you go from advising her to the English translation so far that's come to my attention is separate beds, like basically don't go to bed with them, and then lastly but not least, beat them. Wadrib, whatever, right? That word for beat. But it turns out that second prescription to separate the beds, actually the Arabic, and I want to do a full video with you on this because I've got the tafsir and I've got the real Arabic root, and we need to translate it into English because it's not even come out like thus far. But the second prescription actually means to tie them to the bed, like the way you would tie a camel with a rope, or
so
something
not in a kinky way, but like literally.
No. Well, in a way, like, I mean, imagine handcuffs. In a way that it's the step before punishment. Beating in order to essentially rape. Because if you think about it, Horace, for example, let's say if you fear disobedience from your wife, okay? Okay, let's not make it personal to you. If let's say my fake husband fears disobedience because the disobedience that I'm now engaging in is not wanting to have sexual relations with him. Okay, so it's if that was the requirement in Islam to advise me and then separate himself from my bed, I'd be freaking over the moon. That's what I wanted. That works for me.
Yeah, but it's not going to stay there because the primary problem is still there. So now he has to move to the second step.
Yeah, but if you look at this verb for separate, it also means to tie up in Arabic. And that would make more sense because if you think about the disobedience coming from a lack of sexual willingness, it makes sense for the man to show her a lesson and, like basically, what do you call it? Like beat her into whatever. This Submission. Is
but basically get her to agree.
This is the first step before beating. This is an enactment of how rape is basically done. But that really, really speaks volumes. But anyway, that's just a tiny thing.
We'll talk about it. Yeah,
we definitely will talk about it. Yeah,
we'll talk about it. But that's not it. It's not just putting these black bin bags, as Boris Johnson would say, over women and taking some of the most basic of human rights, like I want to feel the sun on my skin. That's not it. What Islam does. But look what else they have to say, Nuria. You can't, a woman is not even allowed to have some of the most basics of fun moments in her life by watching sports.
إيش مع المرأة إيش معها من فائدة في مشاهدة المباريات؟ إيش معها؟ إيش معها؟
What do women benefit from watching these matches? Yeah? What Nuria? What is it? Why do you want to watch cricket? Why do you want to watch football? What's wrong with you? Why do you have to watch it? Why can't you just go home and why can't you go to the kitchen and make me a sandwich or make your husband a sandwich?
Those sweaty men, Horace, when they just wipe their foreheads and the sweat's dripping and you're like, oh, I'd give you a glass of water right now. That's why we watch it. That's why.
Well, he got you, so the Imam is right now. He's right about it. He knows you naughty women. He knows.
والله ما معها مصلحة تشوف فخوذ اللاعبين وهمها في فخوذ اللاعبين
What about the thighs of those footballers? Yeah.
As if they're literal pieces of meat. The Muslim male mind actually thinks of them as pieces of meat. Like, because imagine, Horace, in football, there's not that much going on, right? They've got their t-shirt, they've got the shorts, and they've got the long socks. The only bit that's really kind of there that you can look at is
from the kneecap up to where his shorts are going to end.
So I don't care about Manchester United or Chelsea or whether it's a derby game or whether it's the bloody Euros or the World Cup final. I am glued to my screen for this much flesh.
No, but to emphasize his point, he gives another reason. Let's see if it makes more sense.
أما تستحي أما تخشى الله أما تخاف
Afraid of
الله
Allah?
زوجها اللي جاء بهذا ويتركها تتفرج وهو يتفرج قال شوفيني أشجع الأخضر وأنت أشجعي الأزرق هذه
What if you have a dispute over which team you're going for? I'm going for the men in the blue. No, I'm going for the men in the green. No.
But how depraved is this thinking that, oh my God, if we have a disagreement about the teams, then basically what he's thinking, I'm already in his mind, she's not going to want to come to bed with me at the end of the night because we're going to have an issue here. One of us is going to be really angry that our team has not won. And therefore, I won't get what I want. Honestly, that's the logic. Trust me. That's why he's worried. But imagine they're like an Indian married to a Pakistani. According to him, no two nations that have any beef should ever get together.
We have seen Indian and Pakistani couples. Like there's an Indian woman or Indian man with a Pakistani woman or Pakistani girl, a Pakistani man. We've seen that, and I saw that in this World Cup that took place in Australia. There was an India-Pakistan match, and there were so many cross-country couples. And they were like, "Yep, I'm here to support my team. I'm here to support my team." It's just like this is what your Wasim Yousafzai was saying. There's so much stuff in their minds, in their books. It's written which we don't even know of. More than 90% of that is not even translated.
Yeah. And the counter, actually, like you've seen loads of couples like that from different parts. Even if I've dated someone again from like India. We had so much beef when it came to matches, but in a way, even with my friends that are Indian, it brings us closer because you like banter and it's actually something that you look forward to as opposed to like, let's just whatever he's saying, essentially.
No, but okay, so maybe he doesn't know about cricket though. So, but I know you watch football, but you also watch cricket as well. So in cricket, there were full trousers, so there's none. You can't see the thighs. Well, you naughty women. Why do you watch cricket then? There's no naked part of a male body there.
I'm there for that defensive cover drive. I'm there for that reverse sweep shot. I'm there for
So you're telling me you're actually watching it for their skills and not for their bodily parts? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, yes. I would not put myself through 8 hours of a day of cricket just to wait for some hand action. I think there's better ways of if that was the desire to, satisfy that urge.
So this cleric is BSing, basically.
What do you think, Horace? You tell me.
Somebody genuinely asked this question. Somebody genuinely thought of that as an issue, right? And obviously that stems from somewhere. It stems from the total domination of a man over his quote unquote woman. And he must be saying, okay, now I've confined her to her house, to my house. She cannot go out without my permission. She has to wear these bin bags when she leaves the house.
Now, how do I suck the remaining joy out of her life?
Exactly. Exactly. How do I do that? So I'm not going to ask some progressive professor of a Western university or even the Muslim university. I'm going to ask those people who have come up with these brilliant ideas of subjugating and making the lives of these women miserable. Let me ask them, how else, Mr. Cleric, how else can I make my wife's life even more miserable? She watches football. Should I let her watch football? Please give me a good rationale so I can suck the last remaining bit of joy out of her life. And he says, yes. And it gives you a reason. She is watching that because of that tiny little part of it.
I mean, to be fair, if my husband or partner looked like that guy, I would definitely be looking at the thighs of those football players. You betcha. Even cricket players.
I know what you did there. That was a low blow.
No, but it's true. If that was sitting next to me at home watching, I would definitely be.
There you go. So that's more of a reason for him. There you go. That's a cycle of repression then, because that would enable him, because he's insecure, because he looks like that, and he's like, oh, I can't. My wife doesn't find me handsome or beautiful, so she's gonna.
It's not the way he looks, Horace. It was his dirty mind that I was put off by. It was his dirty, dirty mind, not his looks.
Okay.
No, but also, I just wanted to say, can you imagine what would happen to these guys if they ever watched a game of tennis? Can you imagine women in miniskirts going, oh, they would lose their mind.
Maria Sharapova. He hasn't heard Maria Sharapova then.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.